Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
The University of Utah travels to Tucson to take on the Arizona Wildcats. How does this fare for the Utes?
In the NBA, MidSeason Tournament is underway. How are the Utah Jazz doing, and what do we think about it?
Let's break down player profile for Keon George.
In Major League Baseball, we have an update on Shohei Ohtani, as well as the other top free agents available in this year's free agent class. All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ, and this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
If you are part of the 95% of our audience that is not subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you. How's it going, AJ?
I'm doing great, buddy. Doing fantastic. How are you?
Well, I'm living the dream here. Yeah, it's been a great week.
Favorite time of the week, man. You ready to get into it?
Absolutely. Beforehand, let's go ahead and do our little pre-show cheers.
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for this.
Cheers to you.
And cheers to you, my friends.
Back to Basil Hayden toast this week.
So ready.
Yeah.
I can already tell this is going to be a great show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go ahead and first talk a little bit about University of Utah football, shall we?
Always.
Let's break it down there. Just tell me what you think about this Arizona team. What do you think is that Utah is rolling into here?
This Arizona team is scary, my friend.
Okay.
They're scary. They are very similarly built to the University of Utah. They have a great rushing defense. I mean, they've actually got a great defense, period. They've got a freshman quarterback that took over midseason. He's looking really good so far. But there's definitely some areas that Utah has advantages in. We can go ahead and jump into those and see what we think, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, Arizona is favored by 1 at home.
by one, the line's 1.
The line that I checked, it was 1 at the time.
Okay.
Before shooting this, it was 1.
Okay.
-1 on the line there. You know, guys, let me know in the comments down below if I got that wrong. But it said Arizona by -1 at home.
Okay.
So
yep. So Arizona's favored by 1 point.
That's what it looks like. Absolutely.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
So, yeah, they're coming off of escaping Colorado with wind over the Buffaloes last weekend. They're in the middle of a 4-game winning streak with wins over UCLA, Colorado, Oregon State, and Washington State. So they're
scary. They
beat
that Oregon State team that made Utah look foolish at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's a good question. We should probably talk a little bit more about that. But there are a couple of escape wins for them as well this season. So tell me about it. What do you think about Arizona that's scaring you the most?
Yeah, so let's jump into just some of the statistics here. Arizona is currently ranked 34 nationally on defense, allowing 334.7 yards per game. They are ranked number 13 in rushing defense and number 81 in passing defense. So let's keep that 81 in passing defense, put a little star by it for now.
Okay.
They are ranked number 30 nationally in offense with 437.9 yards per game. That's one of the better offenses that the Utes have seen this year, minus Oregon and Washington.
Okay.
They're currently using Noah Fafita at quarterback. He's a 5'11 freshman from the state of California out of high school. He's having a fantastic season. He's 165 for 224 on the season, which is good for about 70% completion rate. He's thrown for 1,735 yards, 16 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. They did make a mid-season change at quarterback. They started the season with Jaden DeLaura, who, I mean, we've seen quite a bit of him. He's been with them for a couple of years now. But Noah Fafita's really taken over that role and done a fantastic job. I do want to show, I watched quite a bit. I do want to say I watched quite a bit of tape on Noah Fafita. They do throw a lot of passes into the flats. Typically, the Utes do defend that really well.
Yep.
They've got linebackers to get to the ball really quick, and our edge rushers can't be blocked as easily as a lot of players. So that does help your completion percentage for one, and it also is something that the Utes do really well is defend those passes in the flat. We did a really good job against Oregon and Washington, both of those teams that run a lot of plays into the flat. Obviously, Washington goes overhead, but
right.
So we defend those plays pretty well. That does make me feel pretty good. Arizona has played teams that are great on defense and that are great on offense, and they've won some and they've lost some. So they are very similar to Utah as far as the way they're built and the way they've played. They started the season with a big win over Northern Arizona. They won that 138-3. That was an FCS team, so they don't have any rankings nationally. Their second game, they lose to Mississippi State. They're currently ranked 54th on defense and 103rd on offense. They lose that game 31-24 at Arizona. They've played some really good defenses. The best one was, UCLA and Oregon State. They win both of those games. So those defenses were good. UCLA has a better ranked defense than Utah currently does. Utah's ranked 15th nationally in defense, and UCLA has a much better offense, and they win that game. So UCLA currently has a number 34 ranked offense, and Oregon State has the number 32 ranked defense and the 19th ranked offense, and they win Oregon State as well. They did play USC. They actually lost to USC, obviously, who Utah beat. USC currently has the number 123rd ranked defense and the number 9 ranked offense. And they lost that one by 2, and that one went into extra innings. So it was a pretty rough one. On the Utah side of the ball, Utah's currently ranked number 15th nationally in defense, allowing 299.8 yards per game. They're number 90 nationally in offense, which is coming up slowly. Utes fans, we're getting there. Our offense is starting to actually get some, generate some production. They're number 5 in the country in time of possession, and they're number 47 in passing yards allowed. So yeah, my opinion on this one is we got to make sure that Bryson Barnes is ready. The little star from earlier, they're number 81 in passing defense. So if there's going to be anywhere that the Utes are going to beat these guys, it's going to be throwing the football. They have a very stout rushing defense. So Bryson Barnes got to be willing to rear back and throw that thing, get it down the field, get some completions. Their secondary is not great. There's some holes in there. So if they can get the ball up the field and over their head, that'll take, it's going to force them to drop more guys into coverage to help. And that should open up the running game for the Utes a little bit. What do you think?
Well, on the Utes side, I think that one of the big pieces about the fact that the Utes are starting to climb up the charts on the offensive side, a big piece of that has to be with Devon Vele with 19 receptions, 281 yards in those 3 games. On the season, he has 34 receptions for a total of 643 yards. So in just 3 games, he's almost doubled his yardage. I think that's a big piece there. To have a wide receiver putting up some numbers for Utah definitely has helped when it comes to, we have a nice little target to throw to, basically. So
yeah, and Devon Vele has been a huge part of the offense over the last couple of games. Kyle Whittingham says it in the presser. This team's better on offense when Devon Vele is getting the football. Mm-hmm. So, it's huge, dude. We've got to make sure that we've got receivers and tight ends that are working into the offense, getting production and moving the ball up the field. With this defense being as stout as they are on against the running attack, we've got to make sure that we're being productive on these first and second downs and not getting behind the sticks, because Utah is not a play from ahead team, right? Or a play from behind team. I'm sorry. They need to be ahead of the chains to keep the offense moving. If we get into third and long possessions, it's just not our strength, right? We're not built that way.
No.
So we've got to stay ahead of the chains, stay productive on these first down runs, maybe run some plays into the flats to keep those receivers moving the chains and getting up and down the field. So
yeah, on the Arizona side, something you want to keep an eye on is Jonah Coleman. He's a sophomore running back. He has been in the last game against Colorado. He racked up 179 yards on 11 carries last week. On the season so far, he's got 643 yards. He's got an average carry of 6.7 yards per carry.
Yep.
So, he's
a stud, dude.
That's who the Utah defense is going to go up against.
Yeah. He's very shifty. He runs really hard through the holes. He's a fantastic talent. And that's going to be a test for the Utah defense to make sure they can shut him down. Because if you can shut it down and make these guys one-dimensional, that'll give you the opportunity to put some pressure on Noah Fafita. He's still a freshman. You know what I mean? So if we can get some pressure on him, force him into some of those tough situations, I see advantage Utes that way.
It's going to be the same story as always. The Utes coming in on this, losing 2 out of their last 3. So Utah's got a shot to kind of get back in the winning column here.
Yeah.
I really feel like, just like you mentioned earlier, is that this is a very similar to Oregon State and Washington. This is going to be, a very similar test to those 2 teams when it comes to both the offense and defensive side. I think it's going to be the same old song that we've been singing for the last couple of weeks. What they need to do in this case is, again, just keep the defense off the field, control the clock, and just, again, I hate the fact that they have to keep leaning on their defense in order to do this, because they're going to eventually Utah they're going to run out of steam towards the end of the season,
right?
And you're just hoping that's going to be after this week, right?
Well, and actually after the next week, because we still got a really high powered offense in Colorado coming up the following week.
Yeah, I'm not so concerned about that though against Arizona. I think Arizona. I don't know. To me, I'm not concerned as Colorado as I am about Arizona. between the two teams.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, that's kind of the key to the game there. We got to keep Jonah Coleman in check and just hope that our offense shows up like it has been the last couple of weeks, and keep the defense rolling and see if we can come out of Arizona with a win.
What's the over underline on this one?
This one's 44.5.
Taking the over all day.
You're taking the over on this one
all day.
Okay.
All day. Utah's offense will get going in this game, I do think. I think 44 is really low. Utah's gone over in the last 3 games. I think they score more points than that. And yeah, over all day.
Nice. I like it. Well, again, folks, let us know in the comments down below what you're expecting out of this University of Utah team going up against Arizona. We'd like to know what you guys think in the comments down below. So please give us your takes on that. The over under. Do you think the Utes have a shot to win this one? Well, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know.
Yep, absolutely. And we're still on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button. We are still doing the giveaway once we get monetized. So make sure you guys hit subscribe, get a chance to win that money.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to the NBA, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's talk some Utah Jazz basketball, eh?
Absolutely. Now, before we get into the midseason tournament, how well has it been having Keon George in the starting lineup these last few games?
Been a huge change, dude. A huge change. It's been awesome to watch the Jazz actually make the change.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because like I was kind of starting to get worried as a Jazz fan that they weren't going to change anything. And they were just like, let's let THT just run this thing directly into the ground.
Yeah. And I'll, THT has a great role in this team. And don't worry, we'll get back to Keon George here in a moment when we cover his player spotlight this week. We'll get into that quite a bit. But it was just nice to see that Jazz fans that are kind of hurting with how they started this year. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
That this kind of does have the silver lining is the fact that we get to see that switch to KG3 in the starting lineup. So, yeah, which is basically exactly what we talked about last week that needs to happen. So.
Exactly. I mean, we actually called it last week, is that KG3 needed to move into the starting lineup. And now that the change is made and you get to see he has so much playmaking ability that THT just doesn't have. THT is an explosive player, right? He slashes really well. He's actually shot the ball well from 3 this year. Some of those statistics show it. Like, he's been an effective player. But the problem is with THT is he is just a little bit too big to stay in front of these smaller, really good NBA caliber shooting guards and point guards. And he's just a little bit too big, a little bit too small to play in front of a 2 or a 3 that's possibly 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
So he's almost just the wrong size, but he matches up really well with second unit guards. His skill set is way better than some of those guys, and he's really effective in that second unit. I like him. I don't want to see the Jazz move away from THT.
No.
But those minutes needed to go to Keon George to further his development and continue to let him grow into the player that everybody here thinks that Keon George can be.
Yeah, I'm really digging how well he's playing with Colin Sexton in the backup role.
Yeah, no, they look great together. Yeah,
they're playing really well together.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, I feel like they've actually kind of played some extended minutes. And I wonder if they've done some practice stuff to kind of get into that feeling, because I feel like they know where each other is going to be, and they have the ability to kind of find each other in some of those kind of bailout situations, right? Like, oh, I drove in and I'm in too deep and I need to jump, and I know Colin's going to be right there, or I know THC is going to be over there. You know what I mean? And that's kind of some of the stuff that this team needs. Some of that cohesion is really important for this Jazz team to continue to win basketballs down the stretch.
I agree. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the midseason tournament, shall we?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
First of all, what do you think about the lavender floor?
I love it, dude.
Did you see my text the other day? I'm like, that floor, though.
Dude.
I'm like, that's amazing. It was a little tricky with the purple jerseys, purple floor to get used to it, but
but once you got used to it visually, it was just stunning. And I heard it's actually even better in person.
Yeah,
I heard the floor is even better in person. Everybody's wearing white jersey. Everyone had white t-shirts on in the arena. I love the floor. The city jerseys are amazing.
I love them. They're my favorite jerseys so far.
I'm still not sure if I like them more than the previous city jerseys. I love the black with red, orange, yellow, but I really like these a lot.
Let me correct myself. I like their jersey. I like these jerseys as much. They are my favorite jerseys this year.
Absolutely. Yep, so, hands down.
Yeah, so far they've been my favorite this year.
Yep, my favorite jersey this year for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're a hater on the white and yellow though. You sent me a text the other night saying, "Oh, these jerseys are." I like the white. I actually like the yellow.
It's not about the hate about the jerseys itself. It's how the NBA is choosing to do this.
Right.
It's now.
Make sure you guys leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the Jazz's jerseys.
Absolutely. Which one's your favorite? Do you like the gold and white ones that they put on.
Yeah.
When they were on the road, by the way, on a team where they're advertising Delta Center on their floor. So I was super confused for a minute there. I'm like, wait a minute, is this a home game or is this a road game?
You're like, I don't even know. I don't even know where we're at anymore.
Like, where are we? The team's wearing their road jerseys, but they're at home. Utah's wearing a white jersey, which is typically a home jersey, and they got the Delta Center on the floor. Like, I'm just like, okay, it says Delta Airlines on the floor. I'm completely confused. Is this a home or road game? That was my main point about it. I don't necessarily know. You're right. I don't necessarily like the white and gold.
It's yellow, bro. It's highlighter yellow.
That's true. It is highlighter.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I will hold judgment on the jerseys until I see ultimately my concern on which jersey is my favorite jersey is what their record is in that jersey.
That's your deciding factor.
That's my deciding factor.
I love that.
Yeah. My favorite jersey a long time ago was when they did that all yellow with the blue note.
Yep.
I loved that jersey. And then their record stunk in that jersey. I'm like, well, I know as soon as they put on that jersey, there's
jersey's
a 75% chance they're going to lose this game. So
jersey's done. Sorry, yellow jersey.
You can argue with me all you want how that's not a thing and how it doesn't matter the jerseys. You're going to tell me that you're going to put players. You're looking for the players. You're looking for the same color jersey. You're not going to remember that there's going to be a millisecond of hesitation on a pass when you're changing jerseys.
It's a statistic for a reason.
I'm just saying there. Yeah, exactly. It's there for a reason. What are you thinking about other than the courts, which we love, and the jerseys that we love? What are you thinking of the tournament so far?
I love this tournament, dude. I love it. Maybe not for an experienced basketball team like some of the other Western Conference teams, but I'm going to tell you, for this Utah Jazz team, I absolutely love this tournament. This is giving these guys all of the experience that they need to put them in some of these high pressure, high stress situations. And I think this tournament is going to bring this Jazz team together in all of the right ways, right? I mean, this is valuable experience. This is some of the stuff that like you might not get until you're in the playoffs necessarily. Mm-hmm. Like it's games that actually feel like they mean something. And that's what these guys need. Right. They need to feel together. They need to feel like they're in it together. And this little bit of cohesion, I think, is a fantastic thing for this super young Jazz team.
No, I agree. I just don't like the way the approach is for players and teams. I like the way the league is approaching it. I don't like the way the coaches are approaching it.
The coaches are approaching it as it's just a regular
yeah, they're treating it just like we're just trying to win season games.
We're trying to win these.
We're not even going to tell the kid or the players don't even know until they come out for shoot around what kind of game it is. And I think that's not what you want to do. There is literally $500,000 on the line for some of these young players. They're on the rookie scale contract or a two-way contract. Mm-hmm. $500,000 is going to probably more than double most of their salaries. You want them up for this kind of game. You don't want them to figure out as the game starts that, oh, this is a mid-season tournament game,
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah, so I just think there's a little bit of disconnect from the NBA and the fans versus the coaches and the players.
Yep,
they're treating it a little differently. But yeah, so far I'm loving it. We'll see how well the Jazz play throughout the rest of the tournament on this, but I'm liking what I see so far.
Yep.
So you want to go ahead and move on to, we mentioned it a little bit, you teased it a little bit earlier in the episode about spotlighting a player, and this week we're going to be spotlighting.
New segment. Check it out. Let's go ahead and break down Keon George and the new player profile.
Absolutely. All right. So let us know. Give us a little bit of background about Keon George.
All right. So Keon George is a 6'4" guard drafted out of Baylor with the number 16th overall in the Utah Jazz. Keon George played originally at Lewisville High School in Lewisville, Texas. As a freshman for Lewisville High School, he averaged 21 points per game. He was named the 6A Offensive Player of the Year out of Lewisville High School. After his freshman season, he transferred and moved to IHG Academy, big name, big time school for high school. He transferred there for his junior year. He had a fantastic career in his next couple of years at IHG Academy. He was a consensus 5-star recruit out of high school. He chose Baylor to go to school over Texas, Texas Tech, Kansas, and Kentucky. Had offers from every one of those big-time college basketball schools.
Wow.
He was named the Big 12 Freshman Player of the Year, and he holds the Baylor program record for most 20-point games with 20.
Jeez, wow.
Pretty impressive. I mean, this kid's been able to play since he pretty much picked up a basketball. Again, he was selected number 16th overall by the Utah Jazz.
Absolute steal, by the way.
And really, he could turn out to be the steal of the draft, dude.
Yeah.
This kid's really special. He's got great vision. He shoots the ball really well. He passes the ball really well, and he's actually getting better every single week at it. I want you guys to chime in. Let us know if there's anything we missed on Keon George's player profile. He's a really special player. Make sure you guys let us know your favorite part about Keontae's game so far.
Yeah, Louisville, Texas basketball fans, let us know. Is it the same as it is? Because in Texas, it might be Louisville, but in Kentucky, it's Louisville.
This is actually Louisville, I do believe.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
make sure we're getting that right.
L-E-W-I-S. Yeah.
All right. Louisville and Louisville, Kentucky.
Let us know.
Let me know.
Absolutely.
Cheers to you folks down in Louisville. Appreciate you.
And cheers to you, my friends.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's awesome, man. I mean, since he's been with the Utah Jazz, I've just been completely blown away with him. We don't even talk about the fact that he wasn't even our first draft pick.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, Taylor Hendricks was drafted at number 9.
Yeah. He was drafted number 9. He had the highest upside. He still has a great upside, and he is getting quality minutes down there in the G League. Just absolutely dominating down there in the G League. So but that's where he needs to be. He's not going to get some court minutes up here with the Jazz. So
not quite yet. He's not quite ready.
No. So we definitely need to see some more from him. But just right when Keontae came into the summer league, you saw something special in that kid.
Yeah.
Just came out of the gates shooting, came out of the gates firing, all the confidence in the world. Absolutely loved it.
And he is so much fun to watch, dude.
Yeah.
He's 6'4". He's athletic, and he makes good decisions. He's a good shooter, and I don't know, man. He's turned into one of my favorite players on this Jazz team for sure.
Absolutely. Going to be a fan favorite for years to come.
Yep.
So hopefully we do right by him and keep him in the franchise.
Yep, exactly.
None of this restricted free agency crap like we did with Hayward, right?
Yep, exactly.
Let's lock this guy up when we can. Yeah, absolutely. Just to kind of comment on that, I really like seeing how he's been running with Ochai Agbaji. Like when you see these two guys play together, like they played in the summer league, like those two guys look like boys among men in the summer league. And to get to see them kind of break down and have their high energy, high athletic impact on some of these teams that have been playing in the NBA, it's been pretty fun to watch.
You can tell that summer league experience is doing them very much good. You know what I mean? Like it's absolutely helping them to have that little bit of cohesion, right? They've seen each other, they've played extended minutes with each other, and now they're getting an opportunity to come off the bench together, right? Because neither one of these guys were starters to start this league to start the season. No, and now they're both moved into a starter role. I think these guys are probably becoming pretty good friends. They're working really well together. They're both good size shooting guard type players. And I think Keontae's taken tips from Ochai on how to be a strong defensive player. And I think Ochai's probably taken tips on how to be a creator. Right. That's what Keontae's specialty is, right? These guys are going to grow together and make this Jazz team super successful come in market right now.
Awesome. I love it. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, I absolutely love it, man. I love the way they're playing together. I love the fact that if they did come out of the gates strong like last year, we probably wouldn't see Keontae in this role. Absolutely. I think you actually called in one of our shorts there that we have. If you check it back on the channel, where we mentioned about the fact that I mentioned that I think Keontae will at some point start for the Jazz this year, and you broke down exactly how that would happen.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a slip up from THT or,
no, it's nothing, more. Yeah. It's more a role of convenience.
Yeah. Letting these, it's what Hardy likes to do. Hardy likes to not force a player into a system, but take what the talent that they give them and how to maximize their skill at a certain point. And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. You got anything else you want to talk about on the Utah Jazz?
Not on the Utah Jazz, but we need to roll on into it. Clay Travis, WNBA.
Let's talk about this. This is fun. It was mentioned. It was put on. There basically a bet went out to the WNBA by Clay Travis, who mentioned that he would put $1 million up for any.
I want to know if Homeboy has $1 million. First of all.
Oh, he does.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. He went. But anyway, so he put up $1 million bet to take the WNBA champion team, which is the Las Vegas Aces, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Against any state champion high school team of his choice. And he believes, he put $1 million on it, that the high school team, boys high school team, would beat the WNBA championship. Now, I'm going to err on the side of this one, and I'm going to take the boys high school championship team, just solely for the sake of this argument.
Okay.
I kind of on the fence about this. I think there is a possibility that the boys could win this game. it really just depends on which state champion team he picks versus, if the WA gets a pick, then yeah, that's going to be easy. But if this guy picks, I think that the boys team might have a chance. What do you think?
I think you could pick any boys team that you'd like, and the WNBA champions would absolutely destroy them.
Okay. All right.
I think, first of all, do you know, I know you don't watch the WNBA.
I watched enough.
I watched some of it, right? And I'm going to tell you,
I watched a lot of it.
If you've heard of anybody, you've heard of Candace Parker.
Yes.
Okay. She's one of the most storied players in WNBA. She's on the Las Vegas Aces roster. Okay. Mm-hmm. She was hurt for most of the playoffs. She didn't play a whole lot. Candace Parker's been in the league 15 years. Okay. She's 6'4", which is not a massive, and don't get me wrong, these women aren't huge, right? The tallest player on the Las Vegas Aces roster is 6'4". But if you want to tell me,
I don't know, man, like 6'4", there's some women in the WNBA that are
there's taller women. Absolutely.
Yeah, so they could get up there.
Yeah. Brittany Griner, I think 6'10".
Yeah.
And so she's pretty big.
In this case though, like the height wise, I think you're going to be measuring up pretty closely with a high school men's basketball championship team. They'd probably be around the
kind of my point. Yeah.
6'7".
And even if you got some 6'10" players, my point is Candace Parker is 6'4". She's a forward/center. I don't care how good of a high school basketball player you are. She is going to absolutely embarrass you in the post. That's a 15-year vet playing professional basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a chance, dude. The other players on this Las Vegas Aces roster are Aisha Clark, who played at Middle Tennessee, been in the league for 10 years, also didn't play in the WNBA finals that they still won. Dude, she's 5'11". She plays forward, but she's a primary ball handler, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl can ball, dude. There's not a chance. I just don't see any. Those are two of the players that are on this roster. We haven't even mentioned Aja Wilson is a fantastic WNBA player. Okay. Mm-hmm. She's won, I'm pretty sure, 2 MVPs, finals MVP. She's defensive player of the year.
Okay.
And you think I want to see anybody try to convince me that any high school basketball player isn't going to be locked up by a 6'4" Aja Wilson. It's not happening, dude. I don't care how big you are. You know what I mean? She's a WNBA professional basketball player that's been in the league for 5 years.
Okay. So here's my argument against this. And it's really tough for me to argue against it when there isn't a roster to compare it to.
Absolutely.
So my argument's going to be more broad strokes.
Okay.
And keep in mind, I don't necessarily agree with these arguments either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just solely me playing devil's advocate here. And just from what I understand, I do believe there's a possibility that a boys team could beat this team. If you look at the U.S. women's soccer team, right? They took on a friendly and they played against a bunch of, anywhere from 15 to 18-year-old boys. And they got absolutely dominated. They got shut out of the game. This is the team that won the World Cup for women's soccer. And they lost to a bunch of 15 to 17-year-old boys. Okay. So when it comes to this, there's just a certain level of, with all due respect, there's going to be definite size advantages when it comes to this, and just simply weight, height. There's
speed, skill.
Maybe not skill. I'm going to hold off on skill.
Okay.
I don't think that the WNBA's championship team is going to be underskilled compared to a high school state champion basketball team.
Right.
I don't think skill is going to be a thing. I do think it's going to have to be about size. I definitely think it's going to be about physicality. I definitely think it's going to be more about that kind of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why these sports are separated in the first place of men and women. It's simply, and we don't want to get into that debate. We're not going to get into that one, but there's a reason why we're separated in that case, because just simply in this case, men versus women, men have the advantage just simply because they're going to be much bigger than women are.
Right.
As far as size, weight, muscle, physicality.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were to play a 7-game series, I think the WNBA would win. If you would play one-off, I do think there's a chance that the high school team, especially with $1 million on the line, have a shot at winning. It's basically my argument.
I don't think there is a high school team in the country that could beat the Las Vegas Aces.
I don't know, man. I think there's a chance.
I don't believe it. Not a chance.
I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not.
Tune in, YouTube. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know in the comments down below if you think in this case with this bet with Clay Travis putting up $1 million to the WNBA if they win with the WNBA champions, the Las Vegas Aces, against any high school state championship team.
I don't know. I actually personally like watching the NBA. The WNBA. It is a basic level of basketball before you produced all of these freak athletes, dude.
Mhm.
If you watch the WNBA, it is like watching the NBA from the 1970s or 1980s when basketball was not about every single guy could jump and slam. Okay, maybe not the 80s, maybe the 70s.
A little bit more physical in the 80s than you were.
Physical. But the WNBA is a physical sport, dude. Like these women take elbows, they take fouls, it is a lot more aggressive than I think people actually give it credit for. And it is very entertaining basketball. I support them. I think I think more people should tune in, and I think that they should.
But yeah, so I'd love to see if this actually does happen. Let us know in the comments down below, folks, what you think. If you'd love to see it happen as well. I will say this in the defense of women's basketball. I was more engaged with the women's tournament in college than I was the men's tournament this year.
They had some great college players.
They had some great college players. Yeah. And when those players make it to the WNBA, I will actually make an effort to be more invested in watching them again. Because honestly, dude, there's just not much to watch right now. But we can agree to disagree on that subject. So, but perfectly cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the last part. Let's talk about the Rudy Rumble, shall we?
Yes.
Our good old friend, once a Jazz, always a Jazz, in my opinion, especially when you actually are an all-star, a two-time defensive player of the year.
And you still own a home in Salt Lake City.
Absolutely. You're still a Jazz at heart, member of the Utah Jazz at heart. So somebody went after our boy this week. Did you see this?
Yep, Mr. Draymond Green.
Rudy Gobert gets locked in a headlock for trying to break up a fight from our little boy, Draymond Green.
Klay Thompson, yeah.
So break it down. What did you see?
I mean, there was obviously a scuffle between Klay Thompson and another one of the Timberwolves players. I don't remember exactly who it was. And obviously Rudy rushes over. He's trying to get out of it. He's trying to break it up. He's trying to make sure there's some space. Draymond runs up right behind him, throws him straight into a headlock. Draymond's ejected. Klay's ejected. Whoever the other Wolves player is ejected.
Right.
But Rudy stays in the game. It is clear as day. Rudy wasn't doing anything but trying to break this fight up.
Right.
And I'm a big Rudy fan. So like I said, try to convince me otherwise. There's no way you will.
Right.
I don't know, man. I dislike it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Rudy's too solid of a dude. He said multiple times, people in the NBA don't want to fight. Rudy trains boxing in the off season. He's our guy.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I love what Rudy's doing over there in the Timberwolves. And you can see Cat even turning around. Most of Cat's assists are coming off of dumps downs to Rudy this year.
Yeah.
Those two are working together.
It's huge.
And it's paying off huge, man. The Timberwolves are in the, sitting pretty outside of the play-in. Like they're actually in the top 6 seeds right now.
I unfortunately like watching the Timberwolves because of Mike Conley to Rudy Gobert dunks.
Yeah.
I miss those days. Rest in peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who would have thought that, Mike Conley, a year younger than me, is still able to ball out like he is.
Such a stud, dude.
Yeah. So good for you, Mike. Keep it up.
So are we closet Timberwolves fans at this point? You don't want to tell anybody?
No. There's things about that team I can't stand.
Is Anthony Edwards one of them?
Yes, definitely Anthony Edwards one of them. They're trying to paint this guy as the future of the league, the next John Morant. This guy is one of the worst players on defense I've ever seen in my life.
He is terrible.
I don't understand why we're getting away with these players that just simply don't play defense.
Because they could score the basketball at will for 38 minutes a night.
Which is great, but you get one person who can lock you down in the postseason and you're worthless.
Is the NBA wants this to be an offensive-minded league. I mean, they've sit there and moved the rules around for that for years and years. Like, we need offensive players to score baskets. And if it limits the NBA players' defense, who cares? As long as there's points being scored, because that's what NBA fans want to see.
Exactly. But it's the defensive solid teams that win the championship every year.
Every single year.
So, it's kind of the way it is. Like, I agree, man. It was a crappy thing to do. He obviously saw there was Rudy breaking up the fight, and not even that was a chump move. He jumped at him, blindsided him, and headlocked him, and then wouldn't let go. Even with Cat trying to pull his arms off, wouldn't let go. Yep. You're probably going to see a 3 to 5 game suspension from this against Draymond Green. But honestly, man, I don't understand the league's fascination with this guy. Like, if you could put together, there's some on YouTube of just a collage of his on the court cheap shots and everything.
Draymond Green antics.
Yeah. Where
over
it just
his career. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is gonna hurt this is gonna do nothing but hurt the Warriors, man. You take one of their top 3 guys off the floor for at least 5 games, 3 to 5 games, and it's gonna cause a problem for this Golden State Warriors team.
Yep.
You know, I don't know when it's going to stop, man. Like, I don't like these antics. I don't like the fact that, you know, you put a guy in a headlock and you wouldn't let him go. You basically try to embarrass the guy on the court for somebody just trying to break up a fight, you know. And I don't like the Steve Kerr's response in the post game after, where he's trying to justify it and I know what he's doing. He's trying to minimize the suspension to keep his best players on the court. But still, this is from one of the most outgoing, most outspoken coaches in the NBA when it comes to this kind of thing, when things are just simply done wrong. And, you know, just to hear that coming from him, man, I didn't like it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
It's disappointing and frustrating.
It is. I don't know.
Steve Kerr knows better.
Yeah.
And Draymond Green knows better. And Rudy Gobert's comments after the game that he just didn't want to play because Steph wasn't out there and he does whatever he can to get ejected.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally a Rudy Gobert comment, because he always says exactly what he thinks, whether it's the right thing or not.
By the way,
and I can appreciate that from Rudy. So.
Absolutely, I can too. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but this is the second time in 3 games where Draymond Green was ejected, and this is the second time it involved a former Jazz player.
Draymond Green's got it out for the Jazz. That's all there is to it. Close the book.
First time it was Donovan Mitchell 2 nights ago against the Cavs. He got him ejected, and now he's getting ejected due to Rudy Gobert. So
Jazz player hater.
Love that the Jazz players are getting underneath Draymond's screen for Draymond's skin. I love it. So,
yep.
All right. You got anything else on the NBA?
That's what I got, buddy.
All right.
Go Jazz.
Go Jazz. Let us know in the comments down below, folks, if you guys, what you felt about the little altercation there between Draymond and Rudy Gobert. What are your thoughts? Are we wrong on this? Are we making a big thing out of nothing? Let us know in the comments down below for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you guys think on all the topics we just covered. Remember, we are on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. We are giving away that money when the first $500 of AdSense revenue. So again, make sure you subscribe. We appreciate all your guys' support.
Absolutely. All right. So let's go ahead and move on over to Major League Baseball. And we're going to go ahead and break down the news of Shohei Ohtani coming up here in a minute. There's new information about where his desired team is to go to. So we'll go ahead and break that down here in just a minute. So stick with us to the end of the video to hear that. Before we get into the top 10 free agents, there is something I would like to talk about real quick. And that is the Padres owner, Peter Sidler, passed away this week. He died at 63 years of age. At the time of recording, cause of death is unknown. Unfortunately, we lost the majority owner of the San Diego Padres this week. So 2 Padres fans who had a fantastic owner who was willing to spend money and do whatever it takes to make his team be successful. Our hat goes out to you. Best to the Sidler family in regards to the loss of Peter there. From a personal perspective and from a city perspective, did a lot for the city of San Diego. Yeah.
From us at DNA Sports Recap, we definitely wish you guys the best.
On the note, I do want to mention a few things here that I didn't realize about Peter Sidler that you might find interesting. One thing that a lot of fans out there may not know is there's kind of a little bit of, not necessarily a rivalry, but kind of like a little back and forth between the Dodgers and the Padres, especially over the last couple of years, with the Padres being a much more talented team over the last few years.
Yeah.
But there's a connection between the Padres and the Dodgers that most people may not realize.
What's that?
Peter Sidler is the grandson of longtime Dodger owner Walter O'Malley.
No way.
And we're talking long time. This guy was the owner of the Dodgers when they were still in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
We're talking Jackie Robinson time frame. And he did still own the team when they came to Los Angeles. So yeah, he's the grandson of Walter O'Malley, which is pretty insane.
Super cool, actually.
So he grew up, went to a lot of baseball games in LA and, was a native LA. When he found out the team was for sale down the street in San Diego, he said, well, let's see what we can do with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is. So a lot of people wonder how, he got his money, how he became successful enough to purchase a Major League Baseball team. Well, he actually has 2 degrees in finance. And one of them, and what he did to earn his money basically is he co-founded Sidler Equity Partners, which is a private equity investment firm that currently sits over 5 billion with a B in assets. So the guy was a hard worker, built his company
Built
from
it
the
from the
ground
ground
up.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, so gotta love it. Gotta love to see that kind of thing. So again, to all you San Diego Padres fans and basically all baseball fans everywhere, really love it. It hurts to see an owner like that go. Hopefully the Padres will keep things going forward with his vision and continue to put out a team that city could be proud of.
Yep, absolutely. Well, should we go ahead and jump into the top 10?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay. So starting with number 10, Matt Chapman, third baseman, age 31. He's got some potential fits of the Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Yankees. What's your take, Darren?
So Matt Chapman, third base, he's gonna go to the Yankees.
Okay.
That's
Yankees.
my take.
You heard it here first. All right. Number 9, we got JD Martinez. He's a designated hitter, 36 years old. Potential fits look like Angels, Dodgers, Mets. Who you got?
I got a choice that I want where I want him to go. And
Okay.
I want, with the potential loss of Shohei Ohtani, more on that in a bit, I'd love to see him with the Angels. They need that DH spot. He had a great year with the Dodgers. Let's see him just move down the street. I'm picking Angels.
Angels, I like him. Hey, make sure you guys leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Okay, number 8 comes in Jordan Montgomery. Just had a fantastic season with the Rangers. Left-handed pitcher, age 30. Potential fits are Cardinals, Cubs, and Rangers. Let's hear it, Darren.
He's not going back to the Cardinals because that's the team that traded him at the deadline. So I doubt he's going to go back there. I got the Cubs going for somebody else. I say he stays with Texas.
I like him at Texas, man. He just had a good season. Obviously, the Rangers just won the World Series. Why wouldn't you go back to the team that just brought you there, right?
Exactly.
Number 7, we got Sonny Gray, right-handed pitcher, age 34. Potential fits are the Braves, Cardinals, and Twins. Who you got, Darren?
I say he stays with Minnesota. Potentially Braves. I like the Braves going after him. But
Go Braves.
I think he stays with the Twins.
Okay. Number 6, Josh Hader, left-handed pitcher, age 30. Potential fits are Angels, Phillies, Rangers. Who you got?
The Rangers have already expressed interest in him. I think that's a perfect move for them. I say Josh Hader goes to the Texas Rangers.
Okay. So that was kind of our quick breakdown for the 5 through 10. We're going to go into a little more details on the top 5 free agents. Number 5, Aaron Nola, right-handed pitcher, age 31. Potential fits are Cardinals, Giants, and Phillies. Who you got and why?
So on this one, I think there's a good chance that the Phillies try to re-sign him. However, I do think they're going after bigger fish on this one, and we'll get to that player here in a minute. I'm thinking this is going to be a big one that the Cubs are going to go after. I think the Cubs go for him. I think they need somebody to complement Stroman. I think Stroman stays, and if they do lose Stroman, I think they're going to need that frontline starter. And I think he's going to command a paycheck that the Phillies aren't willing to re-sign him to. So I like him going to the Cubs.
I like it. I like that, actually. That's a great point. Okay. Hey, make sure you guys leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Number 4, Cody Bellinger, center fielder, first baseman, age 28. Potential fits are the Cubs, Giants, and Yankees. Who you got and why?
Okay, so this guy is a Dodger prospect, right? He came up with the Dodgers. He was made into an MVP with the Dodgers.
Absolutely.
Clutch home run over the Atlanta Braves to put the Dodgers into the 2020 World Series.
Go Braves.
Was an MVP. He had a terrible last couple of years with the Dodgers, so they just let him go, let him walk a free agent. He signed a 1-year prove-it deal with the Chicago Cubs, and he blew it out of the water.
He proved it.
I do think that Giants, that might be their fallback plan to bring in Cody Bellinger, because Farhan Zaidi, he is former exec with the Dodgers, now with the Giants. I do see them making a contingency plan to try and get him.
Right.
However, Cody Bellinger's dad played in Major League Baseball, played for the New York Yankees. Bellinger grew up a Yankees fan.
Could be a push.
Honestly, I see I think the needs for the Yankees to have in the outfield and also some versatility at the infield that Cody Bellinger can bring. I think he's going to be a Yankee.
Yankees.
Yep.
I like
Cody Bellinger, the Yankees.
You guys tune in and let us know what you think. All right. Number 3, Blake Snell, left-handed pitcher, age 31. Potential fits are the Cardinals, Dodgers, and Padres. Who you got and why?
So I don't have any of those teams that he's going to.
I like it. I like it. You're throwing a curveball right into this number 3 spot. Who you got?
This player, Blake Snell, he is the top MLB free agent pitcher available on the market right now.
Right, absolutely.
He's going to the Phillies. This is the one the Phillies are gunning for. They're gunning for this guy.
Oh,
Blake
okay.
Snell. This is the one they're going to sign. If they're going to pay money, it's not going to go to Nola, even though he did well for them. They're going to go for the Cy Young. He's going to win the Cy Young this
Right.
year.
They're going all in.
So I say he's going to end up with the Phillies. Strong secondary would be actually, you like this, the Atlanta Braves. I think the secondary would be the Braves.
Go Braves. Okay. I like it. That's a good pick. That's a way good pick. Number 2, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, right-handed pitcher, age 25. And he is potential fits are the Dodgers, Mets, Red Sox. Who you got and why?
So this player is going to go to a big market, which would be all three of those. He mentioned in his talk about when he comes to the Major League Baseball, where he'd like to be, he preferred to be in a large market team. He has mentioned that he doesn't necessarily care about playing on a team that doesn't. The big thing with the Japanese players when they come over here, they have a seniority thing. So that's kind of big in Japanese baseball culture. Yeah. He says he doesn't care about that. He just wants to be with contender. So I honestly think the best shot to have him, and I don't think anybody's going to beat Cohen for this guy. You know, they call him Uncle Steve for the New York Mets. I think the New York Mets are going to give him the most money, and that's where he's going to end up.
I like it, actually.
Yeah, the New York Mets.
Yeah, big market team. Okay. All right. Number 1, everybody knows it. We've put out 5 videos about it. Check out any of those.
Thanks for watching them, by the way.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Our top viewed video on the channel is about Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, absolutely. Shohei Ohtani, right-handed pitcher, designated hitter. We all know he's not right-handed pitching next year.
Right.
Age 29. Even with the UCL surgery coming up, the Tommy John surgery, potential fits are Angels, Dodgers, Giants, Mets. Who you got and why?
Okay, so now this one we're going to dive into a little bit more because we talked about it at the beginning of the episode.
Love it. Absolutely.
That we have some updated information on this one. A big piece when it comes to Shohei Ohtani. Now, we did put out a video on Shohei Ohtani previously about where we thought he's going to go.
Yep.
I still say my number one there is still potential-ish, but we'll go ahead and break that down. Shohei Ohtani has recently come out and put out. Now, everybody claims they think they know what Shohei Ohtani wants, but honestly, I think he's keeping it really close to the vest. I think it's his family and everybody else doesn't know. I think it's his agent, him. They're all arguing that he already knows where he wants to go, and it's just going to be his agent trying to get the most money out of him possible. But it has been noticed that his desire to stay on the West Coast is not as important as originally stated. He's more concerned about going to a contender than he is comparatively to staying on the West Coast.
He is 29 years old. The boy's not getting any younger.
And also willing to be on this is a more important piece, actually, because this what brings in a big contender for this, is he's also willing to sign a more short-term deal. There's all this talk about him being a 10-year, $600 million player to break the record. Still on the table, but he's actually expressed some interest, according to some sources, that he's willing to sign a short-term 2 to 3 year deal that'll allow him to basically re-enter free agency once he's back pitching again. So this opens up for a lot more teams.
That changes everything.
It does change everything.
Yeah.
So my top 5 for Shohei Ohtani is going to be, I still like the Angels at 5. I think on a short-term deal, there's a good chance, even better chance, that he may come back there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're willing to go on the short-term deal to show that you can continue to pitch at a high level, why would you move all your stuff?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you move all your things and your family? Why would you change all of your daily routines? Just stay with them, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you're still getting paid. You're not getting paid any less.
I think this is.
I like the Angels.
I like the Angels too. It's a big loyalty thing to give them another shot.
Yep.
And sign a 2-year deal. You can rehab with the team you're familiar with when it comes to Tommy John.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can put yourself in a position. So that's why they're not
going to be competitive though.
They're still exactly.
It is burning 2 more years.
It is burning at least. I'm thinking 3 year with a buyout after each year where he can. A player option.
Can opt out, yeah.
So I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like the Trevor Bauer deal. He's got opt-outs.
Yep.
But so I do think that they still get number 5. We're taking the Mets out because basically by saying a hard push, they're going after Yamamoto, that this is pretty much going to be a non-factor for Shohei to go to the Mets. So he gets removed. The new team that gets number 4, the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, I love this. Go Braves.
The Atlanta Braves.
Let's do it.
The Atlanta Braves do not send those big long-term max contracts They sign shorter term deals and they get their talent in early. Now, there are some 6-7 year deals that they do, but they get them a low AAV. And it's in early. This is a perfect time for them to go high AAV. And
imagine how dangerous the Braves are with Shohei Ohtani's bat next year.
Yeah, that would be another thing. They're already ranked, as one of the most favored teams to win it all last year. This year, that's a 40 split because they also had one of the best shots last year too, but we won't get into that. But yeah, so I do believe that he does have. I think the Mets gets replaced with the Braves as the fourth option for the fourth most likely option to sign him. So this does move number 3. I still think it's Seattle. They finished one game out of the playoffs. Much better than where the Angels have finished the last few years. So
closest to Japan, easy for his fans to get there. Not a huge move.
Actually, I want to switch it. I'm going to switch it.
Oh, you're switching. Okay.
I'm going to put the Braves 3 and Seattle 4.
Okay.
Because they said he's intrigued by the potential of being going to Atlanta. Word is. So I'm going to move it to 3.
I like that.
So Shohei Ohtani. Okay. So the top 5 is going to be in Anaheim 5, Seattle 4, Atlanta 3, Los Angeles Dodgers 2. They're still the favorite. They still have the pedigree. They still have the Japanese player histories. Yeah. They're still the Dodgers. You want to go high AAV on a short-term deal. You want to go 10 years, $600 million. They got you either way, right? I still have them too, and I still say that the number one option for where Shohei Ohtani is going to land this year during the offseason, regardless of short-term or long-term deal, it's going to be the San Francisco Giants.
Boom! There it is.
So, yeah, I just don't think if the San Francisco Giants have gone in hard after every big free agent every single year and they've come up short. I think that this is really going to be the chance where it's going to be, if they don't land him, I think Farhan Zaidi is going to be out the door, man. Like, he's got to land a big free agent, and I don't see any secondary consolation prize being worth it. Maybe they can land Blake Snell and it'll still save his job, but honestly, I think it's going to be the San Francisco Giants all the way. What do you think?
I love it. I mean, personally, I'm going to go with option number 3. Let's go with the Braves for obvious reasons. You guys all know that I'm a Braves fan. But no, I mean, it's going to be such a fun off season. You know what I mean? Just because Shohei's going to end up, I don't think he's staying with the Angels. I mean, I think he goes somewhere else, but it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see where he lands. Make sure you guys chime in. Let us know down below what you think. Where's Shohei going to end up and why? We'll make sure to comment back to you like we always do.
All right. Well, once again, folks, let us know in the comments down below of anything we talked about on this video today. If you're watching on YouTube, keep in mind this video is available as a podcast in its full form. We have a playlist on YouTube specifically for it. If you want to watch the video, you can see it on our playlist under podcast. It will be on that side on the end card screen. It's also available audio only wherever you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you subscribe. Again, we're on the grind to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all your guys' engagement.
Absolutely. With all that said, my name is Darren. This is AJ. This has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.